Okay, so you're at a ball game and the person sitting next to you clutches his chest and falls over. You're probably thinking that guy's having a heart attack or at least some kind of medical issue. And what do? You're probably going to run to his aid, call 911, and tell him he's showing symptoms of a heart attack. Now, what if the guy on the other side of you stumbles to his seat, bloodshot eyes, looks all kinds of disheveled, and with what smells like alcohol in his breath, and tells you, by the way, that he had all kinds of trouble finding a parking spot? Do you rush to his aid too? Because he's showing symptoms of a medical issue also, possibly a substance use disorder, an addiction to alcohol. For many of us, judgment, stigma, and the lack of understanding about addiction get in the way of us reacting to symptoms of the medical condition that it is. Addiction, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, is defined as a chronic, relapsing brain disease because alcohol and other drugs change the brain. They change its structure and how it works. It's just another disease of another organ, like the heart. Too often, though, we blame the person with the substance use disorder for making poor choices and being a moral failure, and treat them differently than someone whose choices led to another type of health condition, like heart disease. These judgments can lead to shame and keep people from reaching out for help for themselves and for a loved one. You have the opportunity to impact stigma in two obvious ways. Number one, learn more about the disease by reading Drugs, Brains, and Behavior, The Science of Addiction. It explains in plain language what scientists know about how drug addiction alters the brain and affects behavior. Download it free at drugabuse.gov. And number two, adjust the language that you might be using that perpetuates stigma. A team of substance use professionals in Ohio called the Language First Team put together a guide titled Words Matter to Reduce Stigma. They offer specific guidance to help reduce stigma when talking about this important subject. Here are some examples. The words addict, junkie, or user are demeaning and define people by their illnesses. Instead, use terms like person in active addiction or person with a substance use disorder. When saying habit or drug habit, it ignores the medical nature of the condition and implies that the person can stop or break that habit. Instead, use the term substance use disorder, which is how it's defined in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, a tool published by the American Psychiatric Association. Additionally, saying abuse ignores the fact that the addictive disorder is a medical condition. Abuse blames the illness solely on the individual and absolves the drug sellers of any wrongdoing and encourages stigma towards the patient. Instead, replace it with words like misuse or harmful use. And finally, avoid terms like clean or sober, since they imply that people with substance use disorders are dirty. Instead, use words like addiction-free or in remission. Let's face it, we could pretend like what others say doesn't matter, but it does because, well, we're human. So take action. There's potential impact for the individual suffering and your company at large. For a copy of Words Matter to Reduce Stigma, check out the link below. And while you're at it, pass it around to the people you work with or your friends and family. You never know who might be impacted.